Dear viewer, good evening and welcome to Spotlight. With me tonight at the studio, Mark Bernstein. Mark, welcome to MEA.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Of course, Bernstein family. It's one of the famous law firm that served the community for so long, from your grandfather to your father to the children, and hope God will with your children too.
We got a long way to go before that.
Tell me how the family started this business. When did you start it? Where you started? In Michigan or somewhere else? Please.
That's a great question. So a lot of people call us Michigan's first family of law.
Yes.
And there's some truth to that. There's a lot of truth to that. Mm-hmm. My grandmother, Estelle Nelson, was one of the first female lawyers in the state of Michigan.
Your grandmother?
My mom's mom.
Wow.
My maternal grandmother, Estelle. She was an attorney. She's passed away. But to put in perspective how big a pioneer she was, when she passed the bar to become a lawyer, to get her license, first of all, the fact that she graduated from law school was a notable event. It was on the cover of the newspaper with 5 other women who had graduated with her.
Yes.
But when she passed the bar, many, many years ago, 85 years ago, she passed the bar that same year. Sandra Day O'Connor, the Supreme Court Justice, first female Supreme Court Justice in our country's history, was only 3 years old.
Wow.
To put that in perspective, right? So she was, on my mom's side, a real pioneer in the law as a woman.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's my grandfather, Mandel, who I'm named after, my dad's father, who was also a lawyer, born just before the turn of the century, and was a real leader in the legal community, the civic community, the political community, the Jewish community. He actually had his own radio show. He probably would have had a TV show just like this back, if he'd
at that time, 1900,
right? Yeah. And so he was also a lawyer, and he practiced in a way that inspired my dad. And he died when my dad was in college, and my dad, followed in his footsteps. My dad, Sam Bernstein, he founded a firm. First, he actually started as a lawyer at Chrysler Company. He was in the real estate division working at Chrysler. When he was laid off, back in 1967, 68 approximately. Yeah. And then in the early 1970s, 1970 roughly, is when my dad started the law office of Sam Bernstein. And his first office was in the Congress building on Southfield Road, 13 Mile and Southfield Road.
Yes. And
he had a suite, a little office in that building. And over time, just by focusing on clients and doing the right thing and word of mouth.
Yes. And involved with the community.
Very much involved, of course, very much involved in the community.
Yes.
He built a practice. And then in 1978, roughly, the Supreme Court of the United States issued an opinion that permitted lawyers to advertise. Prior to that, lawyers were not allowed to advertise on television. You would lose your license, actually.
Wow. Yeah.
And so there was a case that came down from the United States Supreme Court that permitted lawyers to advertise. It struck down a prohibition on that. That was in Arizona. And when that case came down, my dad started thinking, maybe this would be a way to reach out to potential clients. True. Nobody was doing it. And so he shot a TV ad and started running the ad on channel, you'll remember the channel 50, channel 20,
62.
channel 62, exactly. The UHF station.
Yes.
And over time, those ads became really iconic, and the way in which a lot of people began to know about our firm. And over time, the firm grew.
So you born in Michigan, and your dad.
I'm born in Michigan. My dad was born in Michigan.
So it's a Michigan family.
It's a Michigan family, right?
Yes.
But Michigan's first family law is what people say, right? And so I'm just like my brother and my sister. We're all products of Michigan's public education system, from kindergarten all the way to the University of Michigan, and it's a real honor. It's a real privilege to have this legacy and this tradition, carrying on what my grandmother and my grandfather started, and of course my father, and then my brother and sister.
Great. Let's talk about in what you specialize, and then I'll
Sure.
come to your involvement with the community at large
Yeah.
and with all the ethnic minority and
Yeah,
all that.
sure.
But what kind of practice you do? What kind of
So our law firm focuses on helping people who have been hurt.
Okay.
Auto accidents, nursing home neglect and abuse,
Okay.
dog bites, general personal injury cases. That's one area of our work.
Okay.
We do an enormous number of auto accidents, truck accidents, motorcycle accidents.
Slip and fall.
Slip and fall accidents,
and
of
all that.
course.
Okay.
Anytime there's a physical injury that's caused by as a result of an accident,
Okay.
that's the type of case that we get engaged in.
I see.
And we've been doing it for almost half a century, almost 50 years. We have over 500 years of collective experience at our firm helping people. We have a large firm just down the street here, actually.
Sure, yeah. 13 mile
over,
Northwestern.
over 110 people, 115 people who are all focused on this work. We also have a Social Security disability department that helps people who have been denied their disability benefits when they're disabled and they apply for these benefits from the Social Security Administration, Social Security Disability. That's another division. And then we have a division that was started by my brother, Richard. It's our public service division. Never charges a fee, works on complex civil rights related cases, frequently involving civil rights of the disabled, that has won landmark cases in that arena. And that department continues to this day in working on cases that we think help everyday people who are getting the short end of the stick just because they're disabled and a big company or government's not doing the right thing.
I see. Do you do the business only in Michigan or nationwide?
We are focused mostly on the state of Michigan.
Yes.
We have two fully staffed offices. One, of course, just down the street here in Farmington Hills in the Detroit area on the east side of the state. And then we have an office in Grand Rapids on the west side of the state.
Okay.
That we have a team there as well. So we cover, obviously, the entire state. We've been doing that for a long, long, long time. We're licensed, though, in Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, New York, Florida. And we do some cases in those areas if they come to us.
I see. Do you, as an office, if somebody, for example, accident and all that, there is a lot of aspect of that. There is the doctor, there is the law of that, there is the service, Yeah. Do you cater to all those? If somebody call you, yes, I have an accident, my back hurt, and I felt, what should I do?
Yeah, well, it's actually it is I should say it's not surprising that when an accident happens, and thank God most people don't get into accidents in their lives, and even more importantly, even more I'm thankful is that people don't get hurt that serious. Thank God, serious accidents don't happen that often. But when they do, people don't know exactly what to do. They don't know who to call. They don't know what to say, what not to say. They don't know what the next steps are or how the law might apply to their situation.
Yes.
And so people call our firm, 1-800-CALL-SAM, and we help them understand what the next steps are. We always say in our office, no one wakes up in the morning hoping to call our firm.
Of course.
Right? It means that something...
things happen.
Things happen.
Yeah.
And it means that, and we are so enormously, profoundly grateful when people turn to us when something has affected their lives in a profoundly disruptive way. To put it mildly sometimes. A horrible tragedy has happened in their lives. They've been seriously injured. Maybe a loved one has died as a result of an accident.
Yes.
And so we immediately engage with people who contact our office. We know that they're in a very tough spot. We understand that they don't fully appreciate oftentimes the way the law may apply to their circumstance. And the most important thing we say to people is it's going to be okay. We've done this thousands of times.
You have the experience.
You're in good hands.
Yes.
We're going to treat you like family. And we do. And it begins with gathering the information from them about what happened. The call, by the way, is free. The consultation is free. We don't get paid a
Even
fee.
if he comes to your office and sit with somebody.
Oh my gosh, it's always been for almost half a
Mm-hmm.
century a free consultation.
Okay.
We don't get paid unless we recover money for our clients. So it's we call it the no fee guarantee.
That's great.
People have heard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the call is free, the advice is free, and the value of this can last somebody's lifetime.
Yes.
So it's actually so we inform people about their rights, and we hold them by the hand every single step of the way to maximize the value of their claim, to make sure they get every single penny that they deserve.
Yes.
Because I tell clients when I talk to them, we have two jobs to do. To the client, I say, your job is to get better, to focus on your recovery, your physical recovery, and your family.
Yes.
Our job is really to do everything else, to deal with the insurance company, deal with making sure you get your benefits paid, make sure you're getting the maximum value for your case so that you can move on with your life.
Yes.
The amazing thing is that even with a higher level than in the past of awareness about people's legal rights, it's remarkable how many people don't call a lawyer when they've been hurt in an accident.
This is what I want to come and ask you.
Yeah.
Some people call the insurance company, and we know very well the insurance company, they're going to try to squeeze them.
Yeah.
They're going to try to get away with everything because they're going to pay. So tell me, what's your advice to the people who call the insurance and tell them I have accident, I got hurt?
I tell them a few things. One, when insurance companies start dealing with accident victims fairly, I'll be out of business. But that's not going to happen for a long, long, long time, if ever.
Yes.
The only way the insurance company makes money on your claim is if they pay you as little as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so the interest they have in shortchanging you, in disputing your claim, denying your claim, disrupting your claim, discrediting your claim, for any reason,
and especially average people doesn't know nothing about law.
Exactly, and that's what they're after. And it's heartbreaking when people call our firm after they've been seriously injured, and they trusted the insurance company to do the right thing, and sometimes they sign documents that give away their rights. They sign a release, and they come to learn that they have given away their rights, and they got a pennies on the dollar settlement because the insurance company is preying on their vulnerability, is taking advantage of their their lack of sophistication in this area.
Yes.
Maybe they don't speak English well, they may not read English well, and we see this all the time. It's disgraceful. And so I understand the instinct of I'll do this myself, I don't like to sue people. The reality is that you are suing the insurance company of the driver that caused your accident.
Yes.
You're not suing the person and recovering in the vast majority of situations from their own pocket. It's an insurance company.
That's good.
Large
and it's no fault
national corporations.
We have, you know.
And then there's, of course, there's no-fault insurance, which is enormously important in terms of giving accident victims access to medical care and rehabilitation and lost wages and helping pay for the care that they need in their home following an accident. So the law that relates to accidents, auto accidents in particular in Michigan, is very complicated, and it's essential, in my opinion, to at least get a free consultation from a law firm or a lawyer who can give you the alternative view. The insurance company is never going to tell you to hire a lawyer. Why? They don't want to pay you more. It's a simple thing.
Of course. They need an average person who doesn't have knowledge about the law, and they
Right.
whatever they tell him, probably
That's right.
but they believe him.
That's right.
Okay. As you mentioned, our firm, we care about the client. We treat them as a family. And tell me what makes you different from other attorneys,
Well,
from other law that they deal in the same practice.
So there are a lot of exceptional community-oriented lawyers and law firms in our community. We're really fortunate in that way. Our firm, I believe, has a long history. We've been at this for a really, really long time.
Yes.
Chances are we've helped a family member, a neighbor, someone who goes to your church, someone who you see every day, with an accident when they've been in a tough spot. But I believe strongly, actually, that the community, this community in particular in Michigan, understands our firm's deep, long, unwavering commitment to the community, whether it be community institutions, community events, causes that are important to our community, values that are shared, traditions that are experienced together, bind our firm with the community. And I also think that people recognize authenticity. They understand when you're not just going through the motions, but you're actually engaged, right? I mean, I chaired the Michigan Civil Rights Commission for 9 years.
Sure.
Longer than anybody in the history of the commission, I believe.
Yes.
And we've been there through thick and thin when it's not convenient, when it's sometimes unpopular, when when the chips are down, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you know if someone's deeply and truly and fully committed to the community. And I think that people know that. They see us out in the community, with the community, connected to issues and people and institutions that matter in their lives, whether it be service in politics or service in the corporate, the community environment, a civic environment, the religious community. We're there, and we're not going anywhere. We've been doing this for a long time, and God willing, we'll do it for a lot longer.
You know, one time I visit your office, and your brother Richard, there was a room about 70, 80 people.
Yeah.
And I asked what those people doing here, because you are a law firm, you know, injury firm and all that.
Yeah.
And they said they talking about civil right.
Yeah.
And what's your right, you know. That's so important, your involvement in the community.
Yeah.
You don't look at the community or as an individual as just a client that you make money out of him. But your service to the community, right, honestly, what make you different from anybody else.
We are long past the point where we're doing this for the money. Mm-hmm. We are deeply committed to our mission, helping people who are in a tough spot, committed to the community that we serve, appreciate the role that we play. You know, you talked about my brother Richard, who is not in our law firm anymore. He ran for the Michigan Supreme Court. He's now serves on the Michigan Supreme Court.
Very proud of him. Very
I'm
proud
so
of
deeply
him.
But of him.
Yes.
But you know, it's a complicated thing. You know, he's no longer at our firm. We miss him. His office, which you visited one time a long while ago, has now been, you know, is divided into 2 offices.
Yeah.
There's no, my dad held out a long time. You know, it's kind of a museum to Richard.
Yes.
And finally, we, you know, finally we bit the bullet, and now it's. He is doing other wonderful and important things.
Absolutely.
Right? But we are, you know, and I serve at the University of Michigan on the Board of Regents, helping with lead an incredibly important public institution in our state and frankly in the world, with a deep commitment to diversity, to equity, to inclusion, for all people, all students, all of our faculty, staff, and administration, and the public. So it's you know, the connection to community and the commitment to civil rights and the commitment to just making the world a more fair, just, compassionate place is really the motivation behind the work that we do.
Absolutely. And honestly, I look at your firm different from hundreds of them, is that's your trademark, serving the community and being part of this community first. And then by serving the community, you'll do your service as an attorney.
That's right.
Mark, Michigan, we look at Michigan as a multi-part of all the ethnic minorities and all that. And many, I'm not saying all of them, but many ethnic minorities, when it comes to liability and injured and in another way, suing a person or suing the insurance companies and all that. And I know about the Middle Eastern community, and probably the viewer testified to that. They don't like to go to their own because of the culture they have. They don't want the member of the community to know about them. Not just the attorney, but even the relative.
People
sometimes they're a brother and sister. They don't want to know.
People don't want people in their business.
Exactly.
They just don't, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. You know, these are sensitive moments. These are you know, it deals with money. It deals with someone's physical health, their injuries, their the privacy issues, and you want to work with a firm. And there's lots of
how you work
firms.
with this kind of situation.
Well,
I mean, Chaldean or Arab or Middle Eastern communities that he want to reach you.
Right.
He don't want to go to an attorney, a Chaldean or Middle Eastern or Arab American attorney.
Right.
He's thinking that the whole community knows about me. How you reach him? How you?
Well, so first of all, you call our office at 1-800-CALL-SAM.
Okay.
That's how you contact us, or you callsam.com, our website. We're easy to reach. That's very important, right?
Yes.
Free call, free consultation. We have, after English, the next language, the most popular language common language at our firm is Arabic, for sure.
All right.
Many of our attorneys are Middle East in their family history, in their origin, and we pride ourselves on the diversity of our law firm and the inclusive approach that we take, the collaborative team approach that we take. But when someone calls our office, they can expect to be treated with dignity and respect. They can be that their privacy will be guarded fiercely.
You give them that comfortable zone.
Oh,
that
it is
your
essential.
privacy. It's most important thing.
It is sacrosanct. You cannot. There are ethical requirements. There's legal requirements, but it's just the value of our office. Someone contacts our office, we know firsthand how significant of an event it is in their life. Yes. How deeply personal the issue is to them, how the effect of their injury is in many ways enormous, and how it ricochets through their work, their family, their life, their community in some instances. Yes. And we appreciate the sensitivity that we're a family. We understand what families go through when an injury has affected their life. But someone, when they contact our office, no matter who they are, will get
we're
that
talking
type
not
of
just Arab, the Spanish,
anybody,
the Latino,
of course,
all those.
We have a very large
Yeah.
number of Arabic speaking.
Understand the culture, understand the heritage,
absolutely.
understand.
Sure, absolutely. You can't.
That's important.
Real
to
is
deal
real.
with,
Real is real, right?
Yeah.
I
mean, there's people living here for 30, 40 years, but still the culture and the way they deal with life is still the same.
Right, exactly. And so at our office, it really is a melting pot. It's really a kind of a fascinating, beautiful, collaborative environment of, I'm Jewish, obviously. My sister's Jewish. My dad is. We're a Jewish family.
We're cousin.
Yeah, we are. Of course we are. Of course we are. But and we have embraced the fact that we have lawyers and legal assistants and legal secretaries who are deeply involved in their communities.
Great.
All of their communities.
Great. Yeah. And honestly, that's what make you. When I said what make you different from other law firm, this is what make you different from other firm. Yeah. Well, and we appreciate that from you guys. Tell me, Mark. Majority of our viewer are Middle Eastern community or other community that they interested in the Middle Eastern, because as you know, many of our program in English, so they are interested to listen to us, watch us, because probably the same issue they have.
Yeah.
What's your message to them? What's your how you opening the door to them? How you welcome them? I want a message of not just from you, from the whole family to this community.
I would say this, that we all succeed or we all fail together, right? Yes. The Latin phrase, on our currency, e pluribus unum, out of many one, right? I fear, I regret that we're at a moment when in our society, in our country, when we may be forgetting that, we're straying from that. We've talked about that before.
Yes.
And I want people to know that there are many people who understand that this country and our community in Michigan is better when we do things together than when we build walls, that we need to reach across our communities, build bridges, work together, understand that our strength is our
when we get together,
when we get together,
when we work with each other.
That's right, and we need to find. I fear that we are in a moment when we are,
especially in these times.
In these times, that we are seeking out when there are people who are seeking differences, but there are so many things that are common to us that we share. we all share a common fate. We all share the same hopes and aspirations for our children and for our community. And I can tell you that we are committed as a law firm, as a family, as leaders in our community, each of us, to making sure that we continue to honor those values, that we remain steadfast even in the face of what feels right now like headwinds and divisive energy. We will be in a better place, but we have to work to make that so.
Absolutely. Mark, again, I thank you honestly for serving your client and treat them as a family. Second, for your involvement in this community.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you very much. Dear viewer, that was my interview with Mark Bernstein. Honestly, they are the family of the law, and they treat you as a family. And I know a lot about their involvement in the community. So my respect to them is not treating their client as member of the family, but the involvement that they have with the community. And I'm pretty sure this community, they want to go to somewhere that they feel comfortable. They feel respect. They feel they understand their culture. They understand the way they live. And I saw this when I went to Bernstein's firm. There is a lot of Middle Eastern attorney. And beside all that, the culture that the Middle Eastern have is part of their culture and their standards. So my advice to you, go to somewhere. First, treat you as a family. Second, understand your culture. Understand the way you live. And for that, it'll be very easy for them to deal with you and very easy for you to deal with them. So I encourage you very much to go, and if something happened, God forbid, we don't want nothing to happen, but God forbid if something happened, the law of Bernstein they open the door for you. One phone call and you're gonna see completely different firm. You're gonna see like go into a family member and explain and your injury or your case. And please do not call the insurance company first, because the insurance company, they want to give you the least that they could, because they don't want to spend money on you. But when you go to a firm who treat you like a family, they will defend your right. They will defend what you should get from the insurance company and get you the best deal that you could get.
The maximum value.
Exactly, the maximum value. So again, please contact him if you, God forbid, get into an accident. Thanks for watching and good night.